Welcome to The Voice of Seven Thunders, a production of the Gospel Trumpet Publishing Company.
Thank the Lord.
We just finished section number 6, Brother Ray.
Yes, sir.
And you covered the session once again. And I want to admit that I recognize that what you did, that was a difficult type of teaching because you tried to cover so much content.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But I think I would also say that if we have someone, if you were watching or get a chance to watch and you are new to the Revelation, actually this would be a foundational portion of the study in order to begin to understand more aspects of the Revelation.
That's true.
Revelation. So in going through the details, it could be possible that somebody misses the bigger overview. So maybe you could take just a second. Let me pull up the screen here. This is kind of what you covered.
Yes.
And even this here is a lot to try to cover. So why don't you start a little bit, let's do an overview. What are we dealing with here? Give us a big picture without having to go deep down into each of the images.
Okay, yes, very good. So this is a picture of a chart that's a timeline. Mm-hmm. And we have dates that represent approximate times. So we're covering somewhere from, the birth of Christianity up to 1530 or thereabout, and what happened to the church and the church age and the people and other religions that came up during this period of time is what we tried to cover. And we looked into the details. Some details, we couldn't get them all, but we got into some of the details that the Revelation helps us to understand of this period of time.
So you did something pretty unique that maybe most people wouldn't gather. You combined 3 different aspects of the Revelation. Talk a little bit about kind of that method of bringing out the truths that are contained in this particular book.
Well, so we have the trumpets and we have the seals. And then we have the parables of Matthew 13.
And there are how many there?
There's 7 of them there. Mm-hmm. So we have the 7 seals, we have the 7 trumpets, and the 7 parables that really run together, congruent. And what we were trying to do was take a section at a time and cover the entire section briefly or approximately. And so we were going to the first seal the first seal and then the first trumpet. And then the first parable, putting it together because they go together, and then working our way through that.
So you would call that perspective, right?
That's correct.
It's looking at 3 different aspects of the very same
thing.
Time period is what you're dealing with.
That's correct.
So let me move to this image here.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about this for those, because this wasn't an easy section to go through to try to bring out a truth that's hard to do, but we have an image to try to help us. So.
Right. Well, it's a beautiful subject, and yet if someone is totally unfamiliar with it, it would maybe even take a little more time than we're going to take here. But of course, this is a scroll, and this would be like we have books. This would be their books, and that was the way that it was done, and they were sealed with these seals, and that's what kept it together. And the scripture says that this scroll had these 7 seals, or a seal that represented each of the time periods of the revelation of the 7 time periods. So each seal represents a time period, and as we open it up and we get to see what happened in that time.
What's contained
inside the seal.
Sure. We're going to say something?
No, brother.
So one of the things that I think is interesting about the Revelation that most people who are at least casual readers of the Bible, there's usually 2 things. It's the horses and the beasts.
Yes.
So we didn't deal very much with the beasts.
No.
So horses, why horses? What do we gain by John's use or John's writing about horses? We've got these 4 here. We could actually go to one here specifically.
Sure. So horses, just instruments of war. So we're talking about a conflict between right and wrong. It's actually been the conflict since the beginning of man.
Right.
So horses are shown to illustrate instruments of war, and that's why the use of horses.
All right, so I want to whet our viewers' appetite. Just very quickly, what's this horse represent? Not very deep, because I want them to go and watch what you did today. I want them to have to labor with you. So what's this horse represent?
This is the white horse, and this represents Christ in the church.
Christ
right here.
In the church. Okay. This horse.
This horse would represent the church after the apostasy in the fall.
And why a sword for him?
For death, to do much destruction.
All
and
right.
it says that he was to take peace from the earth.
Very good. And this horse here, this nice fat fella here.
This horse represents Catholicism.
All right.
And we would say
Okay.
popery.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes, of course.
All right. And let's get this fella here.
Protestantism.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay. And he also has something, he has this sword as well. So
Very interesting. The scriptures would have that the Protestant beast used elements of both the red and the black.
Very good.
Or the apostasy and
So here we see him weighing out.
weighing out food. There was spiritual starvation.
And here the Bible talks about him fighting with a sword, like that red horse that we saw, and with starvation.
He said he would kill with the sword and with hunger.
That's right, with hunger.
And yes,
Very
so
good.
very interesting.
Very good. Again, we know you covered a tremendous amount of
We
content.
did. And we wouldn't normally do that, but we're trying to do so much in the
Short
entire
period of time,
meeting, so
yes.
we have to do.
But it was a masterful work, so thank you for your labors.
Well, I don't know about that.
It
but-
was, right? Trust me, it was. So if you get a chance, go to our website. You can find more great content from the Church of God at www.churchofgod.com. Please take a moment to subscribe to this particular YouTube channel, where you'll find more of our videos. And this evening's session on Revelation, we're doing a series this week. Actually, we have them twice a day, so we do them at 10:30 and at 7 Eastern Time. Please like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And is there anything else we have? You know what we've got coming up very soon, maybe next week?
I don't know.
Brother, we have a podcast series that we have produced. It's actually an audio series. It's not video. And it's going to be also an overview of Revelation. So it's going to give you several ways to hear and see about the book of
coming
Revelation.
up next week?
We trust that that's going to be out next week.
Very
We
good.
have our sound engineer working on that even as we speak right now. He's behind the camera with a smile on his face.
looking
So we're
at you
glad for
kinda
that. So this has been another episode of the Voice of Seven Thunders. Thank you so much for watching.